I love the name though. I do want to hear a story about how this happened.
It's a very long inside joke. But I'll get to it.
if you choose for it to remain inside, we can
No,
do
I've told the
that.
story many times, so it's okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
What's that of
Okay.
ScorpionDagger?
Yeah,
I just think it's a really I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to getting
it's
kind of
essentially
behind the.
like just to piss off a friend of mine.
Did it work?
Yep.
And now it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's it. I guess
Brilliant.
to acknowledge it.
All right,
Good
cool.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I won't do intros, of course, until 8 or whatever. But yeah, she was looking up some stuff earlier today to be like, all right, what are we talking about here? And like glam, like galleries, libraries, archives, and museums is like the belly button of Creative Commons, right? It's like it's the most active working groups.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
get involved, there's like try to get some room in there because there's people are very, very active about these conversations, and what is interesting, particularly in the pandemic, when people are not really going to museums as much, that there was a lot of I'm going to post some of these links here, but basically museums monetizing and licensing images, many of which that are in the public domain. And basically kind of like doing a little workaround and being like, no, like it's copywritten because we did the high-res scan. So like this high-res scan, which is kind of interesting in itself, and the whole NFT and just digital assets conversation period. But they're like, no, this is our high-res scan. And, only we can make a deal with KFC or, whatever, the skate company or something cool.
Yeah. Because we scanned it first.
We scanned it first, exactly.
Yeah.
So, the people have been dead hundreds of years and people have been using the image. And there's like, what is this article? I don't know if this article I just posted or just this one from The Guardian, talking about how in France, they like retain the right to control the image, even the ones that are in the public domain that are in their collection, due to like moral objection.
Okay.
Which is questionable. I'm not really sure. I don't know if any of you think people would morally object to some of your uses of the Renaissance paintings, James.
Well, I mean, I just did that job for the Cluny in Paris, which is a medieval art museum, and I had, pretty much open access to their entire collection. And there was a few things that I animated that they objected to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah? Do tell.
Well, I mean, like I took some of their masterpieces, and like for one, like the lady in the unicorn, I had the lady like eating hot dogs, and they didn't want that, and they didn't want it.
Okay.
And there was another one with a donut dressed as a knight riding the unicorn, and they didn't want that either. So
Okay.
I get it.
I get the hot dog one. I don't get the other one. What was the second one?
A donut riding a unicorn.
I mean, they're both great.
The moral objection.
Edible.
Like the
images.
hot dog is too phallic for them or something, or too crass.
I mean, it's their masterpiece, at the museum. So I was like, fair enough. I won't mess with that too much.
Right.
It must be an interesting process of like finding the kind of like those boundaries and challenging them.
Yeah, I'm working with institutions like that. A friend of mine who worked for an ad agency, she gave me a tip one time. She's like, always put in like, she called it a blue bucket, like something that was very obviously out of place.
Right.
So the client will focus on that and ask you to fix that and kind of ignore the rest.
Okay, yeah.
I like to do those once in a while. Like I'll start working on something. And oh, there's no way they're going to accept this, but I'll finish it just so they, hyper focus on that one thing. Everything else alone.
That's funny. I've not heard the term blue bucket. I kind of think of red herring back in England, but it's like red and blue. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're saying, Karen.
Yeah, just make something. Yeah, just kind of focus or leave a mistake in on purpose. If you notice something that's off, like a glitch or something, just leave it in. That's easy enough for you to take out and fix. Focus on that. That's kind of how you get away with some things.
Pro tip. It's a good tip.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's got to be a difficult balance, though, because isn't that what like a lot of your audience is wanting?
Well, for my personal stuff, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just do whatever. Like I leave mistakes in. Like I'll render it. Like as I'm uploading it, I'll see a mistake. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Right.
Like I don't like my art being too precious. I kind of like that, having it. I like putting it out there.
And were you there to see what people responded to in terms of the Clooney show?
No, well, it wasn't a show. It was just for like their social media for the reopening because they were hosted for like 5-6 years.
Right.
For like all like the advertising and everything. So
right.
But I was in Paris like around the same time. And like I saw this like the advertisements in the metro, like on the streets and stuff. Really, they had good feedback. There's some weird like French nationalist guy that got really pissed off at them.
Oh yeah, what pissed him off?
Like, disrespecting, the French heritage.
Yes.
Just that.
Yeah.
Just. His his profile and it was all like. Knights of Templar, like just the guy's problematic. Put it that way.
Right. Well, again, I guess that's the kind of like the moral objections that they're talking about. I mean, like saying moral objections just leaves it open to saying anything that offends you. Exactly. Anything that they can kind of just draw the line. Would you turn the music down just a bit there, Sam? I think it's a.
Sure thing. Yeah, just I'm gonna. Take it down a tad and then just give me a nice thumbs up when it's at a nice ambient level. There we go.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Here,
all right.
Background as background as it gets. Well, I wondered, like, James, you've been using these archives for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And like how long? You did ScorpionDagger that. For a gift for every day for a year.
That was in 2012. So
right.
Yeah, whatever. It's over a year. Yeah, almost 3 years.
And what have you noticed in that time?
Years or 11 years. My math. Yeah, sorry.
How many years is that? Yeah, it's not even.
There's a reason why I'm an artist and not.
Hold on, I need to find a calculator. I'm also lost with the numbers right now.
So yeah, I started ScorpionDagger in 2012.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I started to do one animation a day for the first year.
And have you seen those like archives like change? So like expanding, or like are they more difficult to navigate in terms of like are they easier to search?
Way easier to search. Like back then, pretty much the only source I used was the Library of Congress. And there was some like Wiki Commons stuff, but yeah, now there's way more. I mean, like I don't know when the Met opened up their collection, but it feels as if like that was like the big discovery that kind of like changed everything for me. And that was probably I discovered that like maybe like 4 years ago, if that. Like I'm not sure when they opened it up.
Right. Yeah, one of these articles actually talks about that. About, I think it's the one that I just posted there. Or is it this one? But it actually says that the Metropolitan Museum of Art is one of the kind of trying to put a bunch of public domain stuff into that the warnings have changed. Like, has anything changed when you're downloading it in terms of what it's saying that you can use it for?
So now, well, for client work, I pretty much, just anything that's CCO, at the Met, and like that's all I touch. And like, there's no warnings or anything. It's just you download it, and it'll have the tag, the designation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I double check, where it says, a licensed or no license you could use for commercial work, even, and I double check, I grab that, and I make sure I read the actual attribution.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to be a jerk.
Well, that's the thing, though. It was saying that, like, it's muddying the waters, kind of, because they're making it more confusing because they're putting stuff. Like, I wonder about some of those images that you're talking about because it's all Renaissance stuff, right? Like putting a CCO, like
true.
Attribution is it's unnecessary because it's public domain.
Yeah, but it's that whole issue of we took the high res image, we have the copyright high res image. There's nothing stopping me from going to the Met and taking pictures of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Using that.
But also, like, they're saying, like, that you can't use it for commercial means. Like, only they can use it for commercial means. But again, yes.
Really? Is that for real? Okay.
No,
that article is talking about how they're saying in their terms, or that they're trying to hide in their terms, or like copyright, like invent this copyright, like they're saying, like, oh, you can use it for fair use, but fair use doesn't apply apparently to public domain. Like that's
even for commercial use.
Right.
I look for that specific attribution.
Oh, and they do have that stuff.
But even like now though, like the way that like it's I guess like my process has evolved, that like I make faces from these paintings and like I'll collage together like brand new faces. Like I won't take an entire face and use it unless like it's for like a GIF, but for my commercial stuff, like I'll collage together brand new characters from this like CCO work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that way I'm like extra sure.
Yeah. Do you have like a threshold of change that it's before it feels like it's then like a new or something new's come out of the merging of these pieces?
Because there's been a few times, like, so now I'm kind of beginning to use my creations and building, like reusing and rebuilding my creations. Mm. Like a friend of mine, we worked on this like random character generator where I could show it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hold on. It's on the cloud. Oh, here we go. But it was for this project because he wanted to make it like an NFT project, and I wasn't so hot on it. So luckily everything crashed and we kind of just dropped it, and so now it's like just hold on, I can share my screen. Okay. So you got this guy. Like all these like attributes are from like different Renaissance paintings. Like you got different mouths. Can you see him changing? Well, I gotta get rid of that goatee, but so different mouths and different noses.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is a project we were working on, and I dip into it quite often now. Just because.
Mm-hmm.
You've got it there all organized.
Yeah.
Do you find that you start to become like attached to the different characters that you create, and then you end up like, tell me a little bit about the character side of things.
Well, I mean, like a lot of these guys I've been using for so long.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So all these guys are standing in water so that's part of the project. We called them pescatarians. That was the name of the project. But hold on.
Do they have names? I'm assuming you give these guys names.
Not proper names. They kind of like
a JPEG 002.
Like one, for example, like my partner really likes, so we call it Jen's Dude.
Right.
Like these are like a bunch of like faces that I've made like before we made that random character generator. So
Right. There's no painting that any of these guys exist in.
exactly. And then
Okay.
yeah, but like I mean, even this, like these. Hold on, let's open it up. Like these are just like hands, collection of hands from paintings.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So there's a bunch of stuff like that. Like I started getting way more organized, but now that I have this, but so yeah, now I want to make it, expand upon this so it's not just like dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have like. Yeah. Oh, what's happening with the arms? Oh wait, yeah.
I like where you're separated.
So there seems to be like some real method to the madness, because even the scale of these have to be consistent, right? To be able to interchange so easily like this. It must be a lot of
match up. Where do I put the top of the arms? Oh well, yeah, we can figure this out later.
The top of the arms, I can't answer that. As you're looking for your arm tops, I'm just gonna say to everybody, hello, who's joining now. We've just been chatting about James's work and use of like remixing stuff in gallery archives and from the Met, and he's gonna get into showing you all of that lovely stuff. I'm just gonna drop his bio and social places you can find him. I am at Toronto Animated Image Society here. That's as hybrid as events get. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Creative Commons Twitter. And
that's right.
On Never Gallery Raddy's YouTube, and on through LinkedIn, which is probably where most of you guys are getting the reminders or watching this. We're big in Japan. They like us, and they like us on LinkedIn. So you are watching Watch Me Work, and I am the Karen Derrick, the lead at Creative Commons Canada, and I'm here with Samuel K. Friend and host.
Hey, good to see you all again. It's great to always just hear the amazing just stories behind so many amazing creatives, and the background in VR creation, but it's amazing to just see Creative Commons and open source used in so many creative ways. So we're excited to hear from ScorpionDagger today.
Yeah, and we've got 3 other episodes coming up. Next Thursday, we'll be with, sorry, I'm trying to blank now. Dana McLeod, doing some AI stuff generated from open source software, and yeah, after that, next month we'll have Kofi Oduru and Sonia Mwamba, and
yes.
we'll send you more details about that. So I'm just gonna add, change the social, and then I'm gonna back out and go to the back, go backstage and stick around with the links and enjoy the show and. So then we thank the Toronto Animated Image Studio for having us. Animated Image Society, where everybody's kind of got, just like what you're showing us with the digital. Here we are. Everybody's got all their little physical, exactly like you have, but on paper, right?
Yeah.
Your camera animation here. Great studio space where you can rent all kinds of amazing equipment. And we'll see if there's time for me to tell you a little bit more about that at the end. And we thank again Thero and Anthoscope, Anthoscope Media, who made this possible by sponsoring us. And I look forward to watching you guys do your thing.
Amazing. And so we started. at the beginning, I was just really curious about the development of the name, and I heard a little bit of background behind how this came about. But for the benefit of those who've just kind of joined on the Watch Me Work train, yeah, just give us a little bit of like the synopsis, the beginning of the film, how this kind of this journey into ScorpionDagger evolved.
The journey, the metamorphosis into Scorpion.
Yeah.
Which is
From
maybe we'll do that as like a Watch Me Work. We'll do a transformation of a man into a dagger.
Hey, I'm totally up for seeing that.
Well, I mean, I've been making art my entire life, but I never really, my mother was an artist. Like she still is, like a sculptor, and she did
Amazing
stuff. And she was in art school when I was growing up. So she enrolled me into like oil painting classes, and actually that's pretty much it. But she really encouraged me to like play around with like her art tools and all the stuff she had laying around the house. And as I got older, like I never really took art seriously, or never really considered it as a potential career path. It was always a hobby that I had.
That's quite surprising. There seems to be an intrinsic, just like obsession with the details of just the art world, Renaissance or existing arts culture. That's really surprises me, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, like we had a lot of art books laying around the house growing up, and I would
okay,
hours and hours just staring at them. Like one of the reasons, there was like naked people in a lot of them, so that was like a big trouble.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it was something I was really into. And then, when I got to university, I started hanging around, people who were going to art school. I'm like,
okay.
That's where I met my girlfriend, or my partner now. We've been together
cool.
20 some odd years, or almost 20 years. But she was
awesome.
studio art, sorry. And so they, like, hanging out with them, they encouraged me to join this art collective that they were starting, because they knew, like I kind of like dabbled in creating things, and here I was, hanging around with like these people who actually made beautiful things. I was like, what the hell am I gonna make? So I figured, the most fun thing for me to do, the one thing that came to mind right away was collage. So
okay, yeah.
I went out and bought like scalpels and glue sticks, and grab every like free magazine I could on the street, and would start making collages. So as the years went on, sorry, did you have a question?
I'm just like interested to hear that side of things, because was it the accessibility of the collage? Like you could just literally grab whatever media you could find. I'd like to kind of hear more about that.
Because like all the materials I could buy were, like all the hardware was from the dollar store, and then all like the stuff for the collages were from like the Montreal Mirror or the Hour, Exclaim magazine, like stuff like that. Anything that was like newsprint and had color that was free, like I would just grab those and start cutting them up and making creations with that. Being really
poor. The dollar store.
Yeah, I couldn't pay for paint. And, I still found money for potato chips and beer though, but that's another. As we got a bit older, with the art collective too, we would have like we had some success. We'd have shows. We've had some shows like internationally. We self-published a few books.
Amazing.
We ran a gallery space out of our friend's apartment. He had a 2-story apartment in the downstairs. We'd throw parties, art shows, and we'd have like vernissages where we'd sell beer to help him pay his rent. But we'd invite artists from.
That sounds incredible.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was the name of that? Did you come up with a witty name that was related to the?
I'm not going to reach it. It's up on the top shelf. It's called, the Young People's Foundation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, as people started graduating from school and having to get jobs, and having to get kids, we sort of stopped, making art as much. But I still had my foot in the art world. I had a friend who owned a gallery, and this is ties into the name ScorpionDagger that you were asking me before.
Okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah, we're getting there. So this my friend Tyson Bondarchuk, who owned this gallery called Headquarters. He would have group shows often, and he'd always invite me to participate. And sorry, prior to him owning that gallery, we worked a landscaping job together. So we would be building decks and fences. This is when I was a student. It was like my summer job. So we did hard landscaping, like, stonemasonry and like, I don't know, digging ponds and stuff like that. So one day we were digging like gravel and putting in wheelbarrows and wheeling it across his property. And a bunch of us were joking about, how we should have some tough sounding nicknames. And I suggested that they start calling me ScorpionDagger. And give yourself your own nickname. So they refused. They absolutely refused to call me that. So me not one to let a joke die ever. Friends, when he opened his gallery and he would invite me to participate in shows, I would always sign my pieces James ScorpionDagger Ferrari Lamborghini. Like
Ferrari Lamborghini. Okay.
But I cut it down to ScorpionDagger at one point. And I had a show there with a friend of mine, my friend Neil Doshi. It was like just the two of us, and for all the flyers that we made, I made it James ScorpionDagger Kerr on the flyer.
Okay.
That's where the name comes from. Was just to kind of like piss him off and aggravate him. So
I love that idea. Like, it could have nearly been like Rattlesnake Blade or something. You would have kept it.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, it sounds tough, I guess. But, so you're like, fast forward a whole bunch. I've always wanted to learn how to animate, and a friend of mine who works at the National Film Board of Canada, who lived downstairs from me at the time, we spent a few days. He was showing me some tips on how to do it using Photoshop. I fell in love with animation, and I started making came up with this idea for an art project where I wanted to make one animated GIF or one animation a day for an entire year, and then try to find an art show. And yeah, I never had that art show, but this is in 2012.
It's a great idea, though. I mean, what kind of ideas were coming daily, like as this was being thought about?
So I started like the first few animations I made. So I'm just gonna open the window for my cat.
Yeah, no problem. Let the cat breathe.
Yeah. The first few animations I made were from the collages that I had previously made. But I slowly ran out of that. And I needed to find new source material. And instead of like making new collages every day, I just decided to look online and do image searches. Yeah, so I do Google image searches, and I just grab images from everywhere at first. And then I found the Library of Congress and started taking images from there. And I, after maybe half a year of doing that, I fell upon some paintings by Giotto. And that only started, I guess like the snowball into to the project, making it entirely kind of like Renaissance themed, because I just fell in love with the painting. And I found just by looking at the paintings that you could draw so much inspiration and get so many ideas of what to make. That was the hardest part. What am I going to make today? And with these themed weeks, like one week I had a theme where I did like 80s wrestlers riding motorcycles.
When did you? How much role does dreaming play in the process? Like the pure eccentricity of some of these ideas. What is going on in the mind of ScorpionDagger to kind of come up with these concepts?
Well, I would say this. I think it's a really good exercise for anybody who's kind of like struggling with creativity. Is just like, throw darts at the wall, write a bunch of, just come up with something and go for it. Just start working on it.
Run with it.
It's like once that process starts, then you start getting other ideas. So, I would obsess over looking at these paintings, and I'd be thinking about them constantly. So I'd be out, walking about down the street, and I'd see something funny happening. or you see something
Okay.
random. You know, like I saw like a grocery store opening, like a brand new grocery store, and they had those like air flailing guys. I was like,
Oh, one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
Renaissance,
Great dancing.
you know, and so I think it's just, you know, just start making stuff. And often I'll start making stuff, and then like halfway through the process, I think to myself, this is like garbage. But it'll start going somewhere else naturally. You know, I don't stop. Like I'll kind of force it, and then I'll just see where it goes and let it take me wherever.
Love it. Love it. You said something that really intrigued me earlier, which was that you kind of fell in love with that period of painting and artwork, and started to draw inspiration from it. So what drew you in about that style to make you think, you know, I'm going to set up my tent here, and this is the material that I'm gonna play around with when translating your ideas into art. Well, yeah. So what about this style of art really drew you in?
It was, I think, it was like the one painter that really kind of like pushed me there was Lucas Cranach, the Elder.
Okay.
And if you look at the Cranach paintings, if you just do a Google image search for them, like a lot of them are just really funny. Like they look like cartoons. They, you know, weird faces, weird expressions. Even like Bosch paintings are just so crazy. They're just bonkers, and you could just lose yourself in like these little details. And
yeah.
They're I don't know. They're like, I think that's what kind of like finding Lucas paintings is what. Like it's like looking at a face and like, what is that person thinking of, you know, or like what's going on in that background, or like just trying to take the things like really out of context.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love it.
Idea at one point that what I should be doing is kind of like a really shitty version of the Night at the Museum, where it's like all these characters live on the paintings, and then after the painting closes, they hop off the canvases and they go into the world, and like that's what I'm exploring. You know, so like they live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely get that feel.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Oh, cool. Amazing. And so I think a lot of the viewers will probably be quite curious to kind of like see maybe a screen share of some examples of the work before kind of like maybe a behind the scenes demonstration. But do you have like some examples on screen that you think kind of just the kind of maybe the latest, or maybe a piece that's back in time? Stage is all yours.
Just let me cue this up before you share my screen.
Yeah, for real, no problem.
I'm just trying to think of like what would be
Sure thing.
Some classics.
Meanwhile, how many cats do you have? I noticed you mentioned the cat just.
I have 5 cats.
I wasn't expecting the 5. I thought maybe like a couple, but that's.
Well, technically we have 3, but my partner he works for a cat rescue, so we have fosters in the house, and right now a lot of the COVID cats are getting returned. Like a lot of cats adopted during the pandemic are getting returned.
Right.
They don't have homes for them, so they end up here because like the cat rescue, they just don't have any space. And she also works at a vet clinic too, so she's just surrounded by animals all the time. She has to bring them home.
Wow. Well, there are no straight and ordinary answers with you today. Everything is. Love it.
They like hanging out in the basement for the most part.
Cool.
They're fun. I don't know what to show. I have a few here actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you share my screen, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, I mean, this is an early one that I did. Hold on. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep, I can see the screen.
An early one.
Oh my.
This one's like a gift that I made when I was doing one a day. And that was the thing with doing one a day. I really tried to limit them, you know, to not lose my life or my social life. And I was also working full time during that year. So I try to do them in max like a couple hours.
A couple of hours. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
learned to like kind of make it quick and streamlined. Hold on, see if I can find what's this one? Superman stretch.
It's a great name.
Let's open up the Photoshop file. So this is you see it's also only 8 frames. You see down here?
Okay. Huh.
Yeah. So I was posting these back on Tumblr. This is in 2012, and then Tumblr back then, they had a limit to animated GIFs could only be half a megabyte large. And
Are you serious? That's it.
450 pixel by 500 pixel by 500 pixel, I think was the
Okay. Okay.
So you were really constrained in what you were making. So, what's this one?
So this was one of the Tumblr originals that you.
This one was 803 pixels by 8. So I'd probably, when exporting it as a GIF, I probably would pump that down to 450. So it's just a test.
That's a great Superman image.
So this right now,
everything down to the belly.
yeah. Well, I have this thing where I like to kind of have everybody drunk. But so yeah, you see here, this one is 1.185 meg. So part of the fun was always trying to like get it down to that size. Playing like dropping the colors to like 128 from 256 because GIFs could only be a max 256 colors. Playing around with all these things, so it was quite a challenge to get it down. So yeah, then.
So with the colors, it's kind of amazing that you're saying that the background of this piece is actually still within the limited 256. Like it seems like there's no compromise with the colors. It's you still get that saturation and the texture of the the oil paints from the way it looks.
That's one of the nice things about using the paintings too, is that you can kind of lose some of the detail. Look how that background is pretty. It's like how I cut it out.
Yeah.
Looking at these things. Yeah, so here.
I can see a few eyeballs as well, some eyes in there too.
But like all these things that I kind of left in. Spider-Man down over here. But I recently, here's another one from back in the day. It's a skateboard.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much based off a Bruegel painting, like this house Peter Bruegel painting, and I called it "Bruegel is Possessed to Skate" as an homage to a Suicidal Tendency song called "Possessed to Skate." So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. Do I have hold on a sec.
So one question I have is like the movement and everything. Like, what's the approach with movement? Because I noticed that they're very, very seamless, even the way they repeat, and they seems to tell a story with the movement each time. So how do you develop that story on the animation side?
Well, so the thing with the animated GIF is that I hated when I would watch a GIF, like somebody else's GIF, and they wouldn't loop properly, or they would just and start over at a weird spot, or
yeah.
And so that was something that I was really obsessed with, was making sure that it looped perfectly. I still like that to the day. I'll do some let's see if I can find another one. I'll do some multi-frame GIFs. Those are images. Hold on.
So for those lay animators, a multi-frame GIF, how would you describe that? What are we?
This is an old one. I would do a wide, and then a close up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
This one, technically it doesn't loop perfectly, right? It kind of just starts over. But yeah, so I became obsessed with trying to tell these stories, and I at a certain point, Tumblr upped their GIF limit to 2 megs.
Okay.
So this would be one that was probably about 2 megs, and then I became obsessed with trying to tell these stories in like as quick, try to tell little stories in under 2 megs, and that became part of the challenge. And now I'm posting them mainly on Instagram, so I can kind of keep them long and do whatever I want because they're videos.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, like this buff GIF. I don't know where I'll put that.
So typically with the video, if there's a loop, do you tend to kind of have a certain number of cycles and like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. I try to keep a certain rhythm and a certain beat. Because on Instagram, if anybody checks out my Instagram, you see that I often pair them to music.
Yeah, I do love that.
And so when I make them, I try to keep that in mind. I try to keep like a certain rhythm. I'm a big believer in like the 3-5-7 rule. I don't know if you know what that is.
Okay.
Everything,
no, you'll have to tell me 3-5-7.
Everything in odd numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this Batman was thrown in for a 7.
There we go. So artists do love numbers.
Yeah.
But for those who, inside joke, we were just joking about like just we were doing some calculations and. But yeah, that's amazing though. The kind of like keeping the odd kind of count, right?
Yeah. So you see, this one is actually very like saturated and weird. This is this one was made like the GIF, like you can see the I don't know how the GIF, like the colors really took out from the bricks down here, like it really washed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, some newer stuff, I guess. Oh, I don't want to go to Affinity here. Some newer stuff. Like, this is one where I brought a bunch of my characters together.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so the thing that I really like doing is like bringing all my characters together.
Yeah.
Making these party gifts.
So one of the things we were just chatting about earlier was just like the names and the nature of these characters, because that's something I've noticed. Like, and you mentioned it too, that you create a character and you keep them going.
Yeah.
In future projects. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this one's really pixelated. This was one that I did for the Bavarian State Opera. It was like a cover for a book.
Okay.
Did I have that book here? I should have got more organized. But
there is so much going on here. I've just got to like look at this for several moments.
But it was like one of those things where, like, I mean, these all loop too. Like, I'm really obsessed with loops. Like this nude surfing guy. I wonder if I just turn on the volume on this. Hold on, that's not going to play properly. Good move.
I just saw a little bit of surfing someone.
So this guy's surfing, and then this dolphin comes out and rips off his shorts. And he goes back in, and he comes back out, and it loops again.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so these are all, I mean, what would be, like, I try to build everything from Renaissance paintings. So I don't know if we talked about this before we went live, I think. This is just to show it while it's up. This is a random character generator I'm working on with my friend Tyson Parks.
Awesome.
Where, like, we took, like, different, like, all these mouths and noses. Turn layers on and off in Photoshop.
Now this I can't. Is this something that you kind of like will put out that people can play with eventually and use? Like, is that the goal?
That's the goal, and they could generate their own kind of random characters.
Oh, this looks incredible. This
fun.
Is a great preview of what's to come, which is awesome.
Not sure when this is going to be ready because he's a really busy guy, but the longer he waits, the more stuff I add to it. So maybe it's a good
Hey, that can only be more options, like a
exactly.
crown. That's good.
But got too much clothes on. Look at the FBI leather vests. So these are all taken from Renaissance paintings, pretty much entirely from the Met. So I mean, like this tank top, for example. Like what I do is I just find a background.
I was gonna ask which Renaissance painting features this
tank top. But I'd often what I'd happen often is I'll go into like the Met folder, and these are all public domain, Creative Commons, even for commercial for use.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like I'd go in and I just like cut out a little a part of the brick wall here and make my own brick wall, for example, or I take the collar off this shirt or the necklace off this lady and make some new things. Like the tank top. I don't remember where I got the tank top.
I saw a Paul Cézanne painting there.
Yeah. I mean, you can make a tank top out of anything.
Yeah. An apple on a still life painting. I love it.
I mean, I make cars, by dragging things in, and cutting things out. Like I try to make it, instead of like grabbing a car image, I'll I don't know, what would be a good spot on this to take a tire. I mean, that's kind of dark here, but I mean, I take that.
Okay.
And then copy paste it, and maybe like cut out the middle. I'm doing it really quick here, but
it's good to see this actually, because it's interesting. You have these modern shapes and form, but they still look like they are part and parcel and are taken from. And so this kind of really explains that look is consistent, because you literally take a wheel from a boulder.
Yeah, that's it. Like this looks like it could be a good hubcap. So I take that, put it behind the tire.
Incredible.
It's really quick. You don't really spend more time on this, but so that looked like it'd be a decent hubcap. Maybe brighten that up a bit. I don't know. What would be a good chassis?
Literally making a vehicle out of a Renaissance art piece.
Maybe this guy could be the chassis. Oh wait, sorry, I'm on the wrong layer here. This is gonna work. I'm doing it really quick, but
this is so cool.
Yeah, I'll just cut this guy out.
So while you're kind of giving us this demonstration of forming a car out of the anatomy of a human, how is Photoshop like your go-to for those who are kind of interested in digital collage? What's your kind of take on software out there and things to get involved in?
I learned this is getting ridiculous. I learned on Photoshop. Yeah, so you could do frame animation in Photoshop really quickly. Hold on, where can I show? I can show you how to do this.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people are familiar with layers, but so we'll rename this one back tire, and this one front tire. Body. So if you go to your window here, where is it? Timeline. If you click on timeline, this thing will pop up at the bottom.
Right. Okay.
You do a timeline animation, whereas you have keyframes. But the way that I learned how to do it is I do create frame animation, which kind of presents itself. It's kind of like a more traditional frame style animation. So here you have the frame. So then you're adding a second frame. You hit down.
Right.
So then what you do is you turn off these tires, duplicate them. So then you got back tire 2, front tire 2. You don't have to rename them.
Okay.
Clear. So then I'll make front tire or sorry, I named it 1, but hold on. Front tire 2. You move it, and then back tire 1, you move it. Then when you hit play, so here I'll hit play. See, they're moving.
Oh, no way. That's really good.
Yeah, so frame 1, the tires are on. Oh, sorry, these layers are on. Frame 2, these layers are on. We go to frame 3.
Okay.
We could duplicate the body. Actually, hold on, let's do this.
I love how this car has come from just on the fly from a conversation.
Yeah, so here we got a car.
This is that's
It's what I mean. I mean,
yeah. Tesla's got nothing on this.
no, that's it. Look out, Elon Musk. You're going down.
Yeah, that's incredible. I'm just going to read out a couple of comments in the chat. So Michelle Meyer says, I love making collages. Amin Raymond says, lovely to watch. If anyone has any kind of questions, as ScorpionDagger is kind of doing his thing, just feel free to enter them in the chat. And we'll try and get some of those questions answered. But keep going. I mean, it's great just to see this process and just how it comes together from the concepts.
Yeah, this is pretty. I mean, we should probably start something a bit better. I don't know how much time we have here, but
no, we're pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna open After Effects. I mean, we might as well keep going with this. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. So he's gonna need some back wheels. So we'll take this.
Okay.
Arm.
Yeah.
We'll take this arm, and we'll put it so we'll call it back arm.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this all very well, but we'll put it behind the body, and we'll bring it over here.
Yeah.
So you see it back here. We'll erase it a little bit. Just make it clean up a bit. And then we'll duplicate this tire. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm not used to working on my desktop at home, not so much anymore. But make it a little bit smaller.
Okay, yeah, to get that sense of like depth, right, and stuff like that.
Oh wait, hold on, we'll do it like that.
But do you have like a perspective in your mind as you're building it, or do you kind of go put it together and then think, okay, now I'm going to add the perspective?
That's a good question. Oh, here, my After Effects is opening.
Cool.
Okay, we'll come to this in a bit.
No, sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. I tend to let's make the arms go up so it looks like they're moving kind of separate.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go.
On the way to a very important meeting or something.
It's like
it's good.
Hurt, so like Hercules, like a bad pun out of it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Puns are terrible. Don't tell my mom I said that. So I'm just cleaning it up, trying to make it.
Okay.
Trying to make it look like something. I didn't expect it to go here. So let's duplicate these back tires. So I'm gonna just take both of them just for the sake of time and reduplicate them. And then hold on. I mean, you could play around with this. So here we have our guy car.
Okay. Yeah.
Just gotta clean it up a bit.
That's cool.
So
while you go ahead. I was just gonna. I mean, I've got another really like an interesting question about the. So you talked about this generator, and now we're in the day and age of there's like the AI side of things.
Yeah.
So what role do you feel people? I would say that the human touch on kind of bringing pieces together to create something new, and yeah, like because I personally I think there's something really like unique and unreplicable that a person does, and like what's being seen here. So yeah, like are you excited about that way of things? Do you play it, dabble in it? What's your kind of feel with that?
I was actually playing with it a bit today for the first time.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest.
It's uncanny.
Yeah, like there's some images that I prompted that were really interesting and really cool. But then others, I don't know. Like for example, I have one here actually, I think. What do they call this one? Like this eyeball was one that I did today.
Okay.
I think what I called it was Renaissance on transparent background. Oh, yeah, Renaissance eyeball, realistic green eyeball on transparent background, Renaissance or whatever. And this is
okay.
And I mean, I would probably use that eyeball. Like I would probably cut that.
Oh, cool.
Use it,
Yeah.
Like normally, hold on. Like this is my stuff to use folder.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. I probably have a lot of eyeballs in here.
It's like the chef's ladder, all the ingredients.
Yeah,
I'm still getting over the number of arms you had.
I'll show that right after. But these are like random things that. Yeah, Trump as a wiggly clown. But these are just like kind of like half finished things or things that I started, like a wiener playing bass.
There we go. That's great.
Hot dog. Guy cleaning this is a COVID thing when we're all cleaning our food.
Okay. Okay. I think we can all definitely relate.
Yeah, this is a job I did for Nike, a lady barbecuing. But
cool.
So I have a ton of stuff in here, like beer bottles, and so yeah, here's like an eyeball that I made from Renaissance paintings, like collage paintings. And so if you compare, I don't know if I still have it up somewhere. Yeah, like I probably spent maybe like 15 or maybe 20 minutes making this eyeball.
Okay.
Came out in about 5 seconds. As far as playing. It's quite remarkable. Like often sorry, did you say something?
It's interesting how you're using it as a step in the process. So like you're taking that and then using the eyeball, and it becomes like another piece that's
well, this is the thing I'm debating now after today, after using prompting that eyeball. It's like, should I use it? Whereas like my entire project up to this point has been going into Renaissance paintings and building everything from paintings, like using the palette.
Yeah.
What does this mean for me now? Like, and I'm as I really enjoy making this stuff, but there's times where I'm definitely lazy, and it's going to be really tempting to go in there, just like pump out an eyeball.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah, like I would cut out this and then like this guy's eyeball here, and then I'd like duplicate it, then play with the colors a bit, have a color from somewhere else, make it round. What's it called? Hold on, here. Let's get away from Mancar for a minute.
Cool.
Mancar and eyeball.
I think I definitely am looking forward to getting a print of the Mancar. It's great. It's a great piece. You mentioned color before, like you say you're changing the color of the eyeball and stuff. Like, do you try and keep the original tones of the colors, or do you?
No, I play with
you tweak them, right? Okay.
It's pretty funny actually, because I'm actually partially colorblind.
Okay.
I'm like partially red green colorblind. So oftentimes I have to get my partner in here to double check everything. To make sure the colors are not too crazy. And I found out recently that often she'll just let things slide and not tell me because she thinks they're just funny. And it's like very me how.
Well, it's a original aesthetic, right? Which I quite like that approach. Of just letting it kind of be to a point, and Yeah, the pieces definitely speak for themselves in terms of how kind of striking they are from a color point of view as well.
But I try to keep the same, the aesthetic of the paintings as best I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, this is actually a pretty good example of how I used to come home from work.
Right.
Back in 2012, and I'd have to pump out a GIF, and I had no idea what I was making.
I thought...
I'd sit down after dinner and have a beer.
I thought you were going to say this reminds you of how you would get back from work, and this was your mode of transportation.
Yeah, I take man here.
Just put down 4 wheels and just go down the 401.
Yeah, so giving him some crazy hair here, I guess.
So what are you using for the hair side of things? Is that like do you sample and copy the texture over for the hair?
Yeah, well, that was just did a quick clone stamp. So
okay.
I clone stamp here, and then just kind of drag down. So Mankar, coming along.
Okay. I've got a couple of questions that just came in.
So Mankar? Sorry, go on.
How dare you question Mantra? Michelle Myers asks, I'm using Storyboarder and Krita. Are you familiar with any of these programs?
No.
Okay, interesting. I'm kind of new to those as well. It'd be interesting to hear a little more about that.
Put a link in the chat. I'll definitely check them out.
Yeah. Yes, Michelle, let us know about these. That'll be great to see more of them.
Yeah.
She also goes on to say, ScorpionDagger, you're amazing and inspirational to me. I'll be making my second short soon. My first was a claymation at an NFB workshop.
Amazing. I love this.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Cool.
I love claymation. It's something I'd really love to play around with one day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take this little face. Let's put this.
Yeah.
Flip it horizontal. I like this arm up.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. I like this body here.
Okay.
Let's take that.
I'm quite enjoying seeing how you kind of pick different parts of the piece, and I kind of drawn to different, because I participated in like it was like a art, like mindfulness at the Manchester Art Gallery back in England, and you would be encouraged to just look at the small details right in the corner, like just a farmer in a pre-Raphaelite painting, and someone's harvesting wheat, and there's like a lamb that's kind of gone off in a distance, or a funny bird. And I just love seeing how this kind of adds to it. You're picking these different bits, and yeah. Oh yes, this is great.
I would recommend that as well. Like, just look at the details are amazing in a lot of these paintings, and there's so much going on. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when I was at the Louvre, and like how everybody rushes to the Mona Lisa and just looks at the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
But like around it, there's just so many amazing paintings, like masterpieces, like surrounding it. Like even other masterpieces, like outside that room, there's other, and nobody's looking at them. And I feel that way about paintings often.
Right.
Back here, even like these two characters looking up at the angel.
Yeah, I did not see that. Yeah.
You have the sheep too, all outside. And if you get
that skyline looks ridiculous, like almost. Yeah.
Look at that face.
You're gonna save that for another time, I'm sure.
This angel here would be perfect for an unimpressed teenager looking at their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
definitely.
I really don't want to be here. So here we got Mankar. Let's
incredible.
Our 2-frame animation. Hold on. Woo! So what I would do with this normally, well, now what I would do with this. So back in the day, I would just hit File, Export, Save for Web, and save it as a GIF, and then I put that on Tumblr. But now I'm a little bit more advanced than this, I guess.
I bet you're wondering what soundtrack to go along with this.
Danger Zone.
No, seriously, that's just I never expected to see this kind of output from all the different pieces, and so it's really quite awesome seeing each of those layers kind of adding to it.
So where's my After Effects? There it is. So we'll take Mancar, the folder. I exported as a PNG sequence, so it's those two images on a transparent background. I'll make it loop, let's see, 50 times. I'll drag it into the timeline. I just updated this. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll stretch it to 200%. So there we got our.
Okay.
So actually, I'm going to drop
this.
The background.
This just looks like the most epic, like piggyback ride. Oh, hold on. So you've kind of like transitioning it across the canvas. Okay.
So here, if you look down here, this is a keyframe. So what I'm saying is this layer, Mancar. So Mancar at this point in the time is going to be at this position. So it's that point.
Okay. All right.
And then at this point in the timeline, it's going to be at this position.
Okay. Yeah.
So here it is driving across, but
there we go.
Detail. It's a bit blurred. Oh, that's because I have the motion blur on. Hold on, let's try it again. Woo, Mancar.
I didn't realize you could add motion blur as well. Okay, but then that you like the fineness, right? The sharpness of the image.
I prefer sharpness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's our Mancar. So, or you could do a background moving behind it and having Mancar in place.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We could do. Where's the anchor point on this? We could do. I don't know. Anchor. Mancar spinning in place. Let's do a rotation. Oh wait, sorry, that's the wrong one. Let's do 3 rotations.
So we have a question from Karen coming in.
Yeah.
What's the pixel number on an image like this one?
I think I made Mancar. I kind of have 3. I do it at 300 dpi. This one's fairly large.
Okay.
It's 2179 by 1700 pixels.
Okay.
The resolution's at 150 on this one. Probably because the original image from the Met was probably downloaded at 150. So, yeah, we made a Mancar. Let me save this.
It's amazing seeing the process here.
I'm going to show my hands, like I showed this before. So to save time, I started, instead of cutting out hands all the time, I just started saving them already cut out, so I could come in here and just grab a hand that I think fits the body.
Yeah.
These are all from Renaissance paintings.
So what's with the numbering? Is that kind of like you have like a code system that you?
Oh, it's just so I know what layer it is. Like, so I look, okay. Like
the number, is that kind of like you have like a code system that you?
Oh, it's just so I know what layer it is. Like, so I look, okay. The number, is that kind of like so I'm getting kind of an echo. Oh, it's just so I know what layer it is. So I look, okay.
There we go. I think we were entering infinity for a moment. So you were saying that the numbers kind of like help you with the different layers, is that right?
Yeah, just so I want hand 51 or hand 64. But
Cool.
what I did, I realized that I don't really need to do that. Like for arms, for example. Oh, no, that's not a good example. For feet, I just kind of have it flat.
Oh,
So what I do is I come in and just I want that foot and just grab that and copy. Hold on. And then I'd paste it into here.
Loving the man car. Just jumping back.
it's gonna be my hashtag for the day.
Give mankind spoiler. Butt spoiler.
What is that? What part of a car is that?
It's the spoiler.
No. I love it.
Anchor.
Awesome. You were showing just quickly there in After Effects, right? You can bring it in and then kind of drag it through. I love these hands, these like massive groups of hands and legs and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know where you labeling must be important. How you file.
Let's take this Matty Matheson guy, for example. This is for, oh no, he's flattened. We'll take my buddy Daryl here. Hold on, my computer's getting, my old desktop. Okay, here, Daryl. Spinning wheel.
The little head pop up.
Image grip. With Daryl, for example, like you got the over nose, so if I wanted to make his nostril flutter a bit, the inside nose, his zits on and off, under the zits, his hair. So you can see the remnants of an old painting here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just put hair over that. His eyelids. And
it's so great how they all have like Sam was saying, they all have
Touch
that.
of adolescence.
Yeah, that's actually not it's not a terribly good example, but like sometimes they get really, like this guy, for example. This is my build. Oh, maybe not. This guy's kind of flattened too. But so you got, some of the arms. But normally, like I would have the pants would be a different element. Like the feet would be all different layers. The wine in the glass would be a different layer. Like everything. Like the hot dog earring. I think I made this guy from that character generator, actually, come to think of it.
The choice of eyes here is great. was the expression of the original like as intense? I don't
even remember where this guy started from. Because this could honestly be like a lot of these faces, like I'm building on top of faces that I've already built. Like there's just so many layers to it away from paintings. Like this could potentially be
like a great grandchild.
No, literally. Like this could, well, not literally, but you know what I mean. 10, 15 different paintings collaged together and then collaged with other paintings. Like I'm sure if we look through this, we could probably find where the hair came from. Or
it's like you have your grandfather's eyes.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's get into some of these.
I love that idea that it's the great grandchildren of the Renaissance on the internet, taking to the internet and causing
carrying on the family tradition of being on paintings. I don't want to just be flipping through paintings too much.
Well, you can flip. Well, you flip through paintings. I'm gonna. I know we're gonna get. We're coming up to 9 o'clock here, and I think we're just gonna fully get booted off.
Really?
That's the way that it was designed.
Oh, this was a fun one. This was, you had to make an animation in 10 minutes without hitting undo.
What?
And then you had to export the animation as soon as it was done. So this was 10 minutes without hitting undo.
Without hitting undo. Wow, that's a great
Which is
challenge.
harder than it sounds because it's so instinctive.
Right. Because you're experimenting and playing around too. So
that's it.
And how much time?
10 minutes.
Lord. That's a lot of parameters.
Yeah, it's tough. So yeah, here's some using some of those paintings. This is all based off the Met. Hold on, turn on the volume.
Love the sound in this. The eyes.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's what I do.
And you do it well. It's what I do. Man car.
Love it. There you go. That's
24/7.
Drop the mic. That was amazing.
Well, thank you for showing us what you do.
My pleasure. Thank you for encouraging Mankar.
Thank you for well, he needs encouragement. No, he's
the fuel of Mankar is encouragement. In short supply these days, so it's needed.
I'll try to finish. I'll do something with this in the next few days, and I'll put it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't know what, but I'll figure it out.
You gotta take part. Yeah. Some maybe cheerleaders to fuel him to go faster. if encouragement is indeed his fuel.
Actually, I'm working on an animation for a client, and in the background, you see traffic, like all these little cars and motorcycles.
Right.
I should add Mankar into the mix.
That
would be incredible because we've witnessed the inception of this character. So seeing Mankar in any media, I'll be very excited to see. I know that dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what the internet's all about. The super niche fan. Born here, Mankar.
That's a deep cut.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, guys, and thanks to folks here at Taze and to Creative Commons and to all the museums that make things digital to make Mankars possible.
Thanks for having me. And if anybody has any questions or comments or anything, feel free to reach out. Again,
I'm gonna grab more. Put your socials on here as well. Again. Yeah.
And any kind of shows coming up or pieces that you're currently working on? That obviously the generator's a big thing that you're doing at the moment. That's exciting. Do you anything else you want to let any of the watchers know?
No. It's all
keeping it secretive. Yeah, I love it.
I like to keep my plans a secret so that way if they don't there's no disappointment.
That is very smart. So I'm learning that. Yeah, that's very
love
smart.
It. No, there's stuff. You'll see it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
A Mankar.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, thanks so much. Had a blast.
Awesome. Cheers, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See you for the next one. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.